Good morning, everybody. It's bright and early. It is, what time is it? 20 past 6 on New Year's Eve, and I thought I'd get started early. My husband's just gone off to work, and I want to try and get this done today. I do have to go out later in the day, but hopefully I will leave myself time to do this. So these are some things that Claire sent, and there's some lovely doilies in here. This one I thought would make nice ruffly bits. Let's just fold that one up so it doesn't get ruined. It's so delicate. There we go. There's that one. There's these two napkins. It was nice having a selection like this. Let's see if I can use anything else in here. I'm kind of after ruffly things, so I'll put that back in there and we'll put these ones back in. Like that. These ones. So, what I'm thinking, see, I have to have a closure here, so I don't want anything too long here because it will catch it, but from there around, like that, I can. So I was thinking maybe we will just cut. It is got the damage in here, so we'll start with that hole, and we'll just, I might take it a little bit above so I've got something to sew into rather than the actual crochet work. So this is from Claire Burrows. And what I'm doing is looking to see if any of this part is damaged, because if it is, that's where I can cut. Ideally, that's where you would cut. See how that's got it's the chain is broken there? That's what I'm looking for, because rather than make another piece of damage, why not just use the damage part that is already there? And now I've lost, oh, here. Is that it? No. Where is it? Oh my goodness. Here. So we may as well cut where the damage is. Like that. So what I'm going to do, so I can either sew it onto the front or sew it onto the second one, and in this case, because this has got pockets and things, it will be easier for me to sew it onto the front part. And it doesn't really matter whether it's the right or the wrong way. So I want to kind of leave room for, let me just, oh good, I'm in shot. I want to leave room for a closure there, and I'm just going to do that and have it going perhaps like that. So we'll pin that there. And then we can see what it looks like. Like that. That looks quite pretty, doesn't it? Coming around like that. So it got that nice layered look. It still comes here, but I can put the closure just above that there. Okay, so that's that one. And maybe we could use this one on the back, just so the cover's got some nice dangly bits. I think that's what we might... This is beautiful, isn't it? It's not as free-flowing as the other one, that's the thing. Maybe... just let me put that there and have a little look, because I'm not sure whether there was another... I know what I can also do, perhaps, is there was, where is it? Oh, hello. You come to say hello today, have you? So Happy New Year to everybody, hey? Come on. Don't want your cat hair everywhere. So there's that one I could use. And I will use the one from Claire. That's what they're sent for. They're sent for me to use. So we sometimes balk at cutting things up and using them, but they're only going to sit in a cupboard if we don't use them, and you know, that's where they'll stay until you give them to someone else. And it's nice to use things. Oh, I was going to use that piece of fabric from Siobhan as well, wasn't I? Where's that? That one there. Okay. I'm looking. I had it out the other day, and it just occurred to me I could use some more of it. Just have to find it. That dangly trim, the one with the circles on it, maybe I can use that as well, because that, here we go. That's a dangle. I wonder if we can use a bit of that. It might not look any good, it might not work. I was thinking maybe we could put a bit of that in there as well. That way, you know, we've used it. I think that will be fine, actually. Get it the right way around. Just add that little bit of movement to everything. It goes that way. So like have that in there. Adds a bit of interest, doesn't it? Something different. So I can use that there like that. And they will turn around, of course, their own leisure. Okay, we could keep adding it all the way around, actually, because that won't get in the way of any closure. So that's what we'll do. We'll add that to about maybe there. Yeah, about there. And that is, this one is from Maria Shasta. So we've got two little dangly bits left. We did well with that one. Okay, so that's what we'll do on the front there. I think that looks alright. Yeah, that looks fine. It's good to use things. Okay, now, I know I said I was going to put this flower on the front, but I thought it might get in the way of putting it on a shelf or something like that. So I thought this page here has this, it's like a circle here, I noticed. So maybe I can put this lovely flower there. I that looks quite all right there. And then that is still able to be opened, and that is still able to be removed. It just seems to, when it's like that, see how it's got this circle? And so I thought, well, maybe we'll put that there. And that way it won't get knocked about so much as on the front cover. And I think I will do that. Put that there. Yep. Okay, so that's what we will do with this one here. And that's the one with the pocket inside. Okay. And there's also enough room to put some lace in here, or maybe here. I'm just trying to work out which lace. Maybe I've still got some of this left, and on this page we have it. Maybe that might bring it all together a bit better. So putting that like that. Yeah, like you'll only just see a bit of it, not a lot. Like that, and up and across the top. Yes, I think I will do that. I think I will do that, and yeah, I think so. Alright, so I'll start with that because I can't completely go through all the book doing things in one go because I'll forget where things went. So I'll get those stitched on. Now somebody did ask me if I'd shown how I stitch things on, and I'm not sure if I have or not, you know. I just use like a running stitch. There are no fancy stitches involved in this. So when I like this, let's move that for a moment. What am I doing? I'm going to sew that one on first, and then I'll sew this one on. So I'll give you show you quickly how I do that. Actually, take that one off, and I'll show you with this. And it's nothing difficult. Everybody can do it. It's just a running stitch in out. I just need some thread, and I just take the thread out of my sewing machine, which is behind me there. And depending on what I'm sewing on, sometimes I use a double thread. I may use a double thread now because it is a dangly piece, and it may get, you know, it's on the cover and it may get like used, or it's in a place that will get more treatment than an inside page. So I will use a double thread on it to make it more secure. And because this is like wadding, I can sew on it without it coming through onto the other side. And it's important I try and get these sorts of things done before I put the book together, because then it restricts your ability to sew in some places, and that's where gluing comes in, I guess. So something like this, let's see, are you close enough? Let's see if I can, what? I'm not sure whether that was recording or not. I'm sorry about that. So I'll just show you briefly again. With this heavier lace, I'm just doing a running stitch with a double thread. You can probably see, oops, the little stitches I've taken. They're about 1/4 inch apart. With a more delicate lace, you would do smaller stitches. See, just like that. Just like that, my needle in and out like that. That's all I'm doing in this particular case, and that's all it needs. It's not going anywhere. It's in there nice and tight. For something like this, I will use a different way of putting it on. It's still like a running stitch, but slightly different. Each each type of lace would call for a different approach, but all still very simple and really the same stitches. You just do it a little bit different, that's all. So I'll go ahead and use that running stitch to sew this on, and then I'll show you how I do the other dangly one. And another thing I'm doing is, although it's a nice loose kind of lace, I am kind of pulling up the fabric a bit. Like, see how that's normal, and then every so often I'll just pull up a bit of the fabric like that and kind of gather it with my needle a bit, just to add a little bit more fullness down here. See how you can see those bits, and they just make it like that. See, that's normal, and then I've just ruffled it a bit here, and I'll probably do that around the corner there and up, just so it lays nicely once it's finished. It's like gathering it up, but you're doing it as you're sewing it. So I've pinned this little dangly lace on. It does keep twisting around, but that's okay. So this is the wrong side of it, and I've just pinned it along the edge of the cover there, and it is basically the same as just a normal running stitch. You start it off like that, and with this, because it's a narrow piece, what I'm going to do is like a little stitch from the wadding through the center of the trim and out, and then when I do the next one, I'm going to do it from this side, take it through the wadding on this side and through the center. That way it will also lie down flat. So I'm going, it's coming out of the center now. I'm going on this side, not into the edge, but into the center of the trim, because it's only narrow. Right, like that. And then my next stitch will be from this side into the center as well, and that keeps it nice and flat. Make sure I'm under the yes, I am. Okay, and that's all I'm going to do. So it's, in effect, it is just an in-out stitch, but we're doing it from each side this time through to the center, and that will make it lie nice and flat. It won't curl up because it has a stitch on each side. To sew this little crochet trim on here, it's quite easy. I've got my thread. All I'm doing is going underneath. I'm catching some of the wadding and the fabric and going underneath the crochet trim, and then over the top of it a bit further along. So I'm not actually sewing into the trim itself. I'm just looping around it, and that will give it a good base. So it's under, it's coming out that side, and then the thread goes over and we go under again like that, and it's not coming through on that side either. Okay, so I have done that. Now on this page here, I've stitched the flower on. I've put the tassels slightly to the side so that they will be seen more. I also added a little bit of this antique lace from Claire Burrows across here and used the rest of it to make a little flower. Under the flower is a large one of these disc pieces from the tassel trim from Maria Shasta. I've used all that, and so that will go into the little bag of, you know, snips that I'm collecting. I also used one of these lovely flowers here, and that was from Trisha Hall. I've put that in the center of that small disc. That was the last one. So that was from Trisha Hall. I've sewn on the blue trim all the way around that page, so that's done now, and I can just do that, and that's how that page looks. I did the cover. That's all sewn on like that. Looking very pretty, quite happy with that. And I'll just let you know the time. The time now is 20 to 8. So that's how long that took me. I've been here the whole time showing you and actually sewing. So that gives you an idea of the time, because somebody did ask, am I keeping track of the amount of time it takes? No, I'm not. It's just something I enjoy doing. I love hand sewing, and it's a time for thinking, especially at this time of year. It's a lovely way to, spend your day. So I'm not really keeping track of the amount of time it takes, but I just wanted to, give you an idea of that's how long that particular part of this book took. So, okay. I also forgot to mention this lovely little white satin flower is the last one from Lynn Yvonne's too. They're all gone now. So thank you for that, Lynn. And also, of course, this beautiful flower here. I don't know whether I mentioned that's from Avril Plummer. That was the chiffon from her daughter's wedding dress. She sent a couple of things, and this was one of them, which I was originally going to put on the front cover, but I think it works just beautifully here. It adds to this particular page. So thank you for that, Avril. She made that from the leftovers of her daughter's wedding dress. Okay, so I'm looking at this page here, and I'm thinking I want to put something around the edge there. I have this doily here. I have this one here, which is from Suzanne. Suzanne Freeman. Let's have a look here. I love this little card, isn't it sweet? Okay. Okay. So this is a doily from Suzanne Freeman, and I have used some of it. See how it's cut? There's another one there. And maybe we could use some of this, like either down the bottom, ruffled like that. That would be pretty. Doesn't matter how long this gets, not at all. So that might work well there. I'll just ruffle that up along the bottom. Makes it a long page, but that's okay. Or, because that would be, I think they're the same, aren't they? All I have to do is move it up. Let's just cut it here like that, and then we can just gather that up and that will be like that on the page there. I want something around here as well. Perhaps not the same. I could, what's that there? That's that there. I could use this, some of it. Just don't get ahead of yourself too now. This is actually going on this side like that. So that will be ruffled up like that. across the bottom of there. And then we have some of this, and this is from Siobhan, who is Pearl and Button on YouTube. Pearl and Button, that's right. And it's this really soft lace, isn't it lovely? It's really soft. Maybe I could have some of that going up the side. I don't need it that wide though. So soft. So perhaps about like to there. And I will be cutting that down. Just cut it above the pattern. So that is really pretty, can be used for something. Look at that, isn't that sweet? So that will go up here. It's my daughter's birthday today. She's 26. She's my eldest daughter. 26 today. Goodness, times go fast when you're not thinking about them. So that can go there. Maybe we could put like that there. I'll just trim that top part off and put it poking out the top there. So you just see it, and then we'll use the other end as well. Like that. Let's see if we can see what it looks like. I can pull that up a little bit more just to see it. And that's what that page will look like then. Something like that. It just kind of finishes the edges off a bit. Then on this side, see, it also finishes that edge off for us as well, so we don't have to do anything on that side, which is really nice, isn't it, that it does both of them together. So I will go ahead and I will sew those all on. Yes, I will sew those all on now, then I'll be back. Just let me show you how I did the bottom part here. I pinned it in the middle, and then I pin it on the end like that. Oops, got my needle then. So I put a pin in the end like that, or the other way, whichever. And then you have this excess, and that's what you just ruffle up a bit like that, and then as you're stitching it on, you gather it at the same time, just by, you know, having a bit too much fabric in there, and that will hold it. Like that. I'll put that one that way for a moment. So that when it closes, it's got that gathered effect, and you still see that flower in the center there. If you wanted that a bit more ruffled in the center, just take, you know, and move it along a little bit like that, and that's like that. So that kind of ruffles it a bit more in the center there. But that's how I did that. And with this, I might just put a running stitch through that, pull it to ruffle it, and then stitch that one on. Alright, so that is all sewn on now, and that's what that looks like. And what I was thinking was, with this one here, I might put a bit of this doily on there. I'll just straighten that up a bit. Like that. Oops, almost. There we go. And straighten that. Put that there. Take it off to there. And put that on there. Maybe that on there. There. So what I'll do is I'll stitch that on with the sewing machine and maybe attach that little one there. Alright, so I've done that. I've put that flower there. We have that, and I just remembered I've got this, where is it? It's here somewhere. Where did I put it? This bag of goodies from Natasha of Natasha's Scrapbook Corner. Just let me put this back in here so I don't forget who that's from. And there's some flowers in here, so let's just have a look. My favourite doilies and appliques. So there's, look at that, isn't that pretty? That's a little purple one. And these are from her personal stash. Look at this, that's a button. That's a button. And then there's a hairpin. But there's also these, aren't they pretty? Perhaps maybe, well actually I was thinking more of a colourful one, maybe this pink one here. It's pretty, isn't it? I could put that on there. No. Okay. Sometimes these come off quite easily. There we go. Perhaps that on there, like that. I think so. And just trim that around. Neaten it up just a little bit. And I think I will make a journal from the bits that are left. I've used all the precious things, and that was the main goal of doing this. But I think I will also make a journal, because there's a few paper things, like they weren't the precious thing, but you know, there's a couple of napkins that I could use for decoupage. There are just a few things that I would like to use as well. And like these feathers, I could put those in a paper journal. Oh, I know what I can do. I think, where is it? Oh, okay. There's this little bit here, and I could use one of those little flowers out of the center there. Beautiful antique lace from Laqueta. There we go. Which side? Probably use that side. And put that in there like that. And then that on there. And put that up the top there. I don't think we want that coming down, do we? No. So we'll do that. side. And all these sorts of things can go in a journal. That's really sweet, isn't it? Not there though. Okay, put these away. Oh, and I did want to mention the other day when I was making the envelope for one of the pages, I thought that was the one precious thing from Karina. It wasn't. I'd put the little tag back in and it had stuck to the doily. This beautiful lace lady was actually the one precious thing from Karina. It's absolutely gorgeous. And I realized that when I was watching the video back. I think I put a little note on the video to say that. But that little lace lady, absolutely gorgeous, is the one precious thing from Karina. But I'm still very glad we used the hanky or the little napkin. I'll put that in there so I know. Okay, so I've got to, what am I doing? I'm doing that. I'll just pop that back in the book now and see where I need to be putting anything else. Maybe something here. Oh, okay, now I can put that in that pocket as well behind there when that's done. Do I want to stitch that on? I might actually glue those on because I'll have to go all the way through to hold it on. Like, I did that there, but because it's this kind of lace, you can't see the stitching. But if I do that there, you will definitely, and I don't want it to ruin that little bit of embroidery there. So this one may be a case of using glue, and that's quite all right. I've just kept it to a minimum to keep the book nice and soft, and because I actually do really enjoy hand sewing. Whereas I know a lot of you prefer gluing, and either way is perfectly fine. So I'm using Helmar fabric glue for this. It has a good hold, and it's a nice soft type of glue. It's raining again, can you hear it? Now I did have to take a break for 10 minutes or so because I pricked my finger and I don't want any more blood on the book, so I took a break and made a fresh cup of coffee, rang my daughter. So now we can put it on here, and then that's and I will spread it around a little bit there so it because the jewel is quite heavy. Am I flashing there? Needs a bit of surface. So there we go. Oh, oh no, that is so fragile. Oh dear. Oh, Jeanette, that was silly, wasn't it? What are we going to do there? Okay. Oh, don't do that with antique lace. And that wasn't even, like, I didn't even do that hard. Let's see if we can fix this a little bit. Like, at least make it stay there. Okay. Okay, there we go. That will hold it there. That was a shame. Don't pull antique laces. They are very delicate, especially once they've been trimmed from something else. So that's that little one there. Oh. Okay, put that in there like that. I can pull that ribbon out if I want to. The ribbon kind of annoys me now. Maybe it just needs to be you know, maybe it needs to be over here. Maybe I'll untack it from there and put it over here like a bow. That might work a bit better because we have that colour there now, don't we? So let's have a look how I stitched that on. So I can so careful. If I see how I've just, there we go, I can get that off. And I've got to get the one at this side. I can't see it properly. Hang on. Oh, sorry, I need to kind of get it right over here under the, there we go. There, get the thread out. I'll trim it off because it'll still be hidden, that part. I'll still keep it on this page. Okay, that's that. What I might do is just like perhaps something, or like have it coming from the side there perhaps, because we've got a bow there and now we've got these pink things here. Maybe just because it's really pretty. Maybe just like that in the corner would be pretty. I kind of like that. Yeah. Put it there, or maybe there, like that. Maybe there, because we've got pink here and we've got pink here and pink here, so we'll put some pink there. I need to put something between, so just let me pin that on so I don't forget without pricking myself. Okay, so that's like that. Now I'm wanting something in the pages there. I still have this doily here, but I also have all these. Now I have used that quite a bit. A couple of times I should say, not quite a bit, but I'm just thinking these little, see how that's already ruffled? I'm not, oh, see, that's really pretty, isn't it? That's a lovely colour, but it's not ruffled or anything. No, it takes a little bit away, and it's like that. I wonder. Oh, I know what I might do. Okay, so I've stitched that because it's slightly curved. I might undo that stitching and perhaps have that underneath it so it lifts up. I just have to be careful undoing it, that's all. So I won't film that because that will take me a little bit. So I'll unpick that stitching and then I'll stitch a piece of this on there and then I'll be back. and this is from D, who is Elegant Embellishment. I was about to stitch this little lace on at the back here on an angle like that, so it wasn't so square. And see how that's like all vintagey and then it goes white there? I thought, I wonder if I can use a little bit of this antique lace here also, without ripping it this time, just to, you know, kind of blend it a bit. Like put it in there like that, and it just helps, or even a bit further over like that. It just kind of helps blend it a little bit, I think. So I might do that. I'll just cut that there. Like that. Because I've sewn that one on behind... What? Oh, yeah, that's right. I thought I'd done it upside down. And I don't mind that curve because this lace here actually has a curve to it. It's not that it's sewn in crooked. The lace, it's off something... It had a curve to it, so I wonder if I should put that on a curve as well, like that. No, I don't think that needs to go on a curve. I think that might be nice. So it's just not, it hasn't got that squareness across the bottom. Then it, you know, it helps to blend it a little bit. So I think that's what I will do there. Just pop a pin in there, so, and that's from Karina, and this is from Dee, so I'll put that back. No, it's from Laquita, so sorry, I did say that before too, didn't I? Laquita. Right, and the other one is from D, so let's put that one away now. Okay, what else? Anything else before we start getting the pages ready? See, not every page has to have some sort of ruffle coming out of it, but some of them do look nice if I do that. There might be, oh, see, I still feel it needs something else. So what's this? Oh, it's such a pretty doily. Maybe we could use some of this. It's a beautiful doily. That is also from Claire Burrows. Isn't it beautiful? And we could ruffle that up down the side, a bit of that, unless I've got something else that I can put there. Let's just have a quick look. I've got lots. They kind of have to be soft. Oh, what about, we have this lovely piece here from Roseanne. This one, look at this. This could be just perfect. I love this. It's so delicate and it's nice and soft. And we could ruffle that up much the same way in doing it that I did it for Chabons. Like that. And that will be like more like, you know, the idea, and there should be just the right amount for that, and that will stick out there and soften the page on that side, but also finish it off on that side. That's what I'll do. I will add that one as well, and then I'll... Alright, so that's all stitched on. One thing I did want to mention, when you're stitching antique laces, sometimes it's best not to put the needle through the actual lace, but where these little skinny pieces, just loop it over the lace. Because these are made with bobbins and things, they unravel, so you kind of just you don't want to stitch through the actual lace. You basically just want to anchor it to the page, and don't touch it if you can help it after that, you know, not too much, because the ends will unravel. So you can't stitch right on the ends because it'll just break away. So you need to have your lace attached to the backing and then loop it over pieces of the lace to hold it in place. So that's that one done. There's the lace from D there, and then on the other side I've attached the pink one up here. I have done the little tag, and that's in there, and I put 2 of the buttons on here, and they are from Linda Hansen. She sent one button that belonged to her great-grandfather and these 3 pink vintage buttons. So I've used 2 of them here. That's that side. And what I've done is, instead of sandwiching this lace between the pages, I actually attached it to the front because I think that's ever so pretty the way that gathered up, and I want to be able to see that. So I've put that lace there, and that one was from Roseanne. Now I can either put that in like that or like that. So we'll just put it in like that, maybe. Okay, like that. So that's done. And I did use some of that doily and attach it to the top there, and that was from Claire, and that finishes that page off nicely as well. And I'll keep that one to in my little scrap bag there, and put this one back away with Claire's things. Where did I put Claire's things? They're here somewhere. I know they are. Oops, just a moment. Okay, I got it. So I'll put that back in there with Claire's as well. And that one. And that one. And I'm not sure how long this video has gone for. I really did want to start attaching the pages. So let's see, I can always divide it into 2 videos if I need to. Let's bring those over here. I need to keep those there because I got to write those down. Actually, I'm going to go write those down now, and then